So first of all, people have to understand that there is no one on this platform who has generated this engagement overnight. So my funda is simple. As long as you're speaking to more and more people, as long as you are getting some insights from people, you will never fall short of out of content idea. And I feel that okay, if someone has copied my post, that means it was copy worthy. That means
Yeah.
it was written nice and he really liked it. Make a habit commenting on at least 10 to 15 posts every single day.
Welcome everyone. So today in the next episode of In Conversation with, I am Hardik Patni and we have Mr. Hardik Lashkari. He is the founder of Content Flavor. He is a great storyteller who has been featured in reputed publications like INC 42, Youth Ki Awaaz, Your Story, BNN Times and Co-Founders Town. So today let's learn from him the art of storytelling. Welcome sir, how are you?
I am fine. Thank you so much, Hardik, for inviting me today and really excited to share my insights.
Okay, so how were you dealing with the lockdown? Have you tried something new?
I have. Before lockdown, I was not knowing about Adobe Illustrator. I was using
Okay.
Canva to design my Instagram posts and other posts also.
Hmm.
But during the lockdown, thankfully, I have learned Adobe Illustrator now. So
Okay.
now I am one level up in my designing also. So yeah, lockdown has went well for me.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, do like you design your post, you write your content, everything on your own, like a one-man army.
No, so I have a team. I have a team of
Okay.
content writers also,
Okay.
copywriters, designers, social media marketers. But then what happens? All the content that I am pushing from my social media handles, I
Mm-hmm.
am designing it, I am writing it.
Yeah.
So there I do not like to take anyone else help.
Yeah, yeah. That only I wanted to say. Like for your own content, you must be doing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was just going through your post, like they are really amazing. So how do you choose to on which topic you should write on? So how to generate ideas for content?
So my funda is really very simple when it comes to generating content ideas. I like speaking to as many people as I can,
Mm-hmm.
be it on any social media platform, which is by where I'm reading their posts, I'm commenting on others' posts also. So this is one form of speaking that I do. Then I actually pick up calls and talk to my clients. I converse with them on Zoom, on other social media platforms like Quora, Reddit, and Facebook, Instagram also. And then I really like going outside and just meeting new people, understanding their life journey, understanding their experiences, understanding the kind of problems that they are facing, and then I try to create content based on it. So my funda is simple. As long as you're speaking to more and more people, as long as you are getting some insights from people, you will never fall short of out of content idea.
Okay. So is there a proper process to write content and what is it? Could you please tell our listeners?
Sure. So as far as LinkedIn posts are concerned, I
Yeah.
always suggest people not to start it straight away. Rather,
Mm-hmm.
there should be some sort of content calendar or strategy which should be there well before you're starting your content. So that you know that okay, today I have to post this, tomorrow I have to post that, then day after tomorrow I will be posting this. So there should be a content calendar. Again, a content calendar does not need to have in your Airtable or in your Notion. You can have a content calendar in as simple as an Excel spreadsheet also. But the
Yeah.
idea is you should always have a content calendar with you. Then second comes the research part. So you really have to spend time in going on different publications, taking help of Google, and again going on Quora, Reddit, Amazon, etc. to find out what people are saying about a particular topic. And it does not go through only with LinkedIn post. I am talking about all sorts of content, whether you're writing blog, article, website copies, newsletters, social media copies, Quora answers, whatever you are writing, you really have to do a very well adequate research. You have to do
Yeah.
a research adequately. So that's the first part. When you have actually started writing content, then you have to take care that there is a phrase in English which is write edit, write drunk, edit sober. So you
Okay.
really have to take care that when you are writing, you are actually putting your mind out without worrying about that. Okay, how many words is it? Or should I be writing like this? Should I be writing like that? Should I be
Mm-hmm.
omitting this thing? Is it necessary or not? Write each and everything that you can. And when you are then editing it, then take care that, okay, this is what my reader will feel like. Should I write this? Is it necessary? Is it not necessary? If it is not necessary, delete it. So all the thinking part should be there while you are editing and editing a piece of content. But while you're actually writing it, you should not just think about it. Okay, I have to take care of my word limit also, or I have to take care of these concepts. These kind of things can be taken care of during the editing part. Then third is, of course, you should write like you're conversing to your friend. So what
Mm-hmm.
do? I visualize that there is a person who's sitting just in front of me and I am talking to him. So how would I explain him something? How would I narrate a story? I do it similarly on LinkedIn or other platforms. So even when I'm writing a blog, I think like, okay, I have to make it understand to a person who's just sitting in front of me. How will he get the concept? And similarly, I write my blogs and articles, and that is where you see that there is a natural flow that is coming in my writing.
Yeah. So how can one access this art of storytelling? Like as I see, like most of your posts are in the same form, and which are generating you great engagements on LinkedIn. So how is there something hack of doing it?
Yeah, so basically not a hack, but there is a framework which if you can use, you can also build stories and you can also get that engagement on LinkedIn. So there is a very simple 4-step framework that you need to do, which is called
Okay.
ADA framework.
Okay.
ADA framework is generally used in copywriting and advertising, but right now people have started using it in storytelling and in content writing also. And it is
Okay.
giving them tremendous engagement and tremendous interaction also. So
Mm-hmm.
ADA framework comprises of 4 main things. First, A for attention. So your
Mm-hmm.
first line or your first paragraph should be attention worthy. The moment someone reads it, he or she should be able to, just feel attentive that, okay, this is something I haven't read till now, or this is something that will be of my benefit. So attention, your first line or your first paragraph should be really attention worthy. Then second, interest. After you have caught the attention of the people, then you really have to generate interest so that then they start feeling that yes, you are talking about them, you are talking about their pain points or their problems. So you have to ignite interest in people. Then after this, third is desire. You have to create a desire in minds of the people that if they read your content till the last, or if they buy your product or services, or if they agree on your tip, then their life is going to become successful, their life is going to become happy. So then you have to create a desire in mind of the people. And then the fourth is action, which means you cannot leave your readers midway. After they have read a piece of content, you really need to tell them what do they need to do next, whether they should like, whether they should comment, whether they should share their experiences, whether they should download a particular ebook that you're offering, whether they should buy some product or services. There has to be an action. So this way, if you can create your LinkedIn post specifically in these 4 framework: attention, interest, desire, and action, and you will see all the content writers, all the influencers on LinkedIn who are generating tremendous engagement use this framework. So the first 3 lines that they are using on LinkedIn are really attention worthy because LinkedIn does not show the entire post. LinkedIn only shows the first 3 lines of your post, after which there is a see more button.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for to persuade people to click that see more button, you really need to have your first 3 lines very eye catching, very attention worthy. And then, of course, there has to be interest followed by desire. And at the end, you would have seen an action that thoughts, please. Do you agree? Would you
Yeah.
like to share your experiences?
Yeah.
These are some call to action buttons that writers use. So, this way, if you do, you can also create stories and you can also get tremendous engagement on LinkedIn.
Okay, that was really great. Like I was not knowing about this thing. ADA framework, right?
Okay. Yes, ADA framework. It was previously used more by copywriters and advertisers. So all the
Okay.
TV ads that you see, all
Mm-hmm.
the newspaper ads that you see, all the billboard ads that you see are all based on ADA framework. But
Oh,
lately now content writers and even the storytellers have started using this framework, and it is really very beneficial for each of us.
okay. So, why do you think LinkedIn is nowadays growing on a large scale? Like, what potential it has for content creators?
See, first of all, I believe LinkedIn is the only platform right now where you can reach out to thousands or even millions of people without spending a dime. So you don't
Yeah,
have to spend even 1 rupee or $1, and you can still reach out to thousands and millions of people every single month. I'm
yeah,
sure that is something that every person desires to, not just a content writer, but every person aspires to reach millions of people without having to spend anything.
yeah,
There LinkedIn comes into the place. Second, for content creators, of course, startup owners, entrepreneurs, digital marketing agency owners, and these kind of people are their targeted audience.
yeah,
There are targeted audience on Facebook and Instagram also, but you wouldn't find it in abundance as much as you would find them on LinkedIn. There, LinkedIn allows you to reach out to these people, and they could be in any part of the world. So right
yeah,
now, I'm sitting in Jaipur, and I could reach out to anyone in San Francisco or Sydney or Singapore or Middle East, somewhere in Middle East also.
yeah.
So imagine that I am able to reach out to so many people in different parts of the world without spending anything. Can there be anything more like can there be anything more beneficial than this? I'm
No,
sure
no.
there couldn't be anything.
Yeah,
So LinkedIn has that potential where if you create content and if you create it consistently, you create very high valuable content, you are able to generate leads, you are able to close down all deals every single month.
okay. So tell us about your journey in short, like when you started off in LinkedIn versus when you are like you're getting such great engagements on your post. So tell us about this journey on LinkedIn.
Okay. So first of all, people have to understand that there is no one on this platform who has generated this engagement overnight.
Yeah,
You recently interviewed Shreya Pattar also, right?
yeah, yeah,
Shreya, my journey and Shreya's journey started almost at the same time on LinkedIn.
yeah.
And because of the hard work, because of the consistency, because of the determination, we have been able to generate that engagement now after 2.5 years.
Yeah,
So people have to understand that there is no magic wand that I can give or any other influencer on LinkedIn can give, and you can start generating engagement uh, just overnight.
yeah,
You have to spend time over there. You have to publish content, and many times it will happen where you publish a piece of content. It has happened with me. So whenever I write, I always think that okay, this post is definitely going to give me likes, comments,
hmm,
shares, and profile views, etc. And that post just does not give me anything. That post
yeah,
hardly reaches 10,000 people. Whereas a post that I have written in just 2 minutes, that post garners me 50,000 views, thousands of likes, 200 comments, and leads, etc. Also. So you never know what will work on LinkedIn. So I
okay,
always tell people that the best strategy if you want to adopt in order to maximize your efforts on LinkedIn is to go without any strategy. Experiment
okay,
yourself, see what is working good for you, try. You will definitely find that sweet spot from where you can know that okay, this is how my engagement can shoot up now. It happened with me also. In the starting I used to get very less engagement, but then I kept consistency. I learned storytelling. I saw that okay, this is how LinkedIn post might work. I also played around with the hashtags. I even tried tagging a couple of people through 2 or 3 times on my post, and then I later realized that I shouldn't be doing this. It is spamming. So I realized a lot of different things. I tried, and that is how I was able to carve out that okay, this is where I'm most comfortable, and this is what
hmm,
my audience needs from.
okay,
So there cannot be a fit it all solution. It really depends on who you are targeting, when you are targeting, and where are you targeting. So you really have to find out your own sweet spot and then stick to it consistently.
okay. So what are your views on plagiarism?
Plagiarism is a highly sensitive issue for sure because lately, uh, every day at least 10 people copy my post, and some of them even copy it hashtag by hashtag also. And even when
Okay,
I'm tagging my company's name, They are even copying my company's name also. So they
Okay.
are just blindly copying it. No matter how much we discuss about plagiarism and that there should be a mechanism where
Yeah.
if anyone is copying others' post, LinkedIn should
Yeah.
be able to track it. But
Yeah.
it just cannot happen. It is not practical.
Yeah.
Similarly, I'll tell you a small incident.
Yeah.
So basically, there was this guy who was copying my LinkedIn post and sharing them as answers to Quora questions.
Okay.
And in almost 6 months, he got around 1 million views and
Oh.
about 3,000 followers.
Okay.
And he copied my answers as it is. He copied my LinkedIn posts as it is and pasted them as answer to the Quora question.
Okay.
Now I cannot do anything about it because there are several social media platforms. I cannot be active on every social media platform and just check
Yeah.
that okay, who's copying my post, who's
Yeah.
not copying my post. So lately I have stopped worrying about this thing and I feel that okay, if someone has copied my post, that means it was copy worthy. That means
Yeah.
it was written nicely and he really liked it. So I just do it and I move forward and I move on and I focus on some other writing, some other post of mine. So plagiarism is an issue, but there is no solution which we can find right now which is practical and which can stop people from copy pasting the post. That is what I can say.
Yeah. So, what are your views on LinkedIn marketing?
Okay, so first things first, people in the name of LinkedIn marketing have
Yeah.
lately been telling that you should tag hundreds of people, you should mention 30 hashtags, or you should use automated tools like Lamport or other such tools to get likes and engagement. It is
Yeah.
not LinkedIn marketing, it is LinkedIn gimmicks.
Okay.
LinkedIn marketing is all about where you're so LinkedIn marketing comprises of three major things. The three C's that actually define the essence of LinkedIn marketing. First is your content. You have to produce content consistently and very high quality content you have to produce, which solves the pain point that people have. This is the first C. The second C is commenting on others' posts because LinkedIn works on give and take approach where if you give it to people, people reciprocate. So you have to
Hmm.
start commenting on others' posts, and when you do that, then you will see that there is an automatic shoot up in your profile views and in your post views also. So that is the second C. Comment on others' posts. Make
Okay.
a habit that you are commenting on at least 10 to 15 posts every single day. They could be a targeted audience, they could be the content creators just like you, they could be the newbies, they could be people who are posting on leadership on these kind of topics, they could be anyone. You have
Okay.
to post at least 5 to 10 comments every day. And then third is adding connections. You have to add connections, and by connections I do not mean that you should be increasing the number of connections. I rather focus that okay, you should have very quality connections which can become your followers. So you have to add connections who are in your targeted list and build relationships with them. Converse with them in the inbox, share thoughts with them, invite their insights on different things, and build a relationship with them. So three C's, nothing else. One, the content. Second, the
Mm-hmm.
comments. Third, the
Okay.
connections. If you can
Okay.
do it consistently. So these three C's combined with the fourth C, which is consistency. If you can do it consistency, that is at the core LinkedIn marketing. LinkedIn marketing is not a rocket science. It just comprises of these four C's: the content, comment, connections, and consistency.
Okay. So, many new young writers are like starting off their career on LinkedIn, or they are trying to create content. So, what one advice will you give to them?
So many times, what happens when people are starting on LinkedIn, specifically the newbie writers who do not have any
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
they feel hesitated in sharing their posts because
Yeah.
they think that if I'm going to write on this post and if I commit some mistake, what are people going to think about me? Or I do not have that much knowledge on this topic till now. Should I write about it?
Yeah.
So I always tell people, don't start with advanced topics. Start with something as simple as possible. Say if you like cricket, talk about cricket. If you like Bollywood movies, talk about Bollywood movies. If you like something else, talk about it. For the
Hmm.
first few days, just break that hesitation and write on whatever you feel good about. And then slowly and steadily, while you are also reading. So it's important that you read others' posts and you read books, you listen to podcasts, you watch videos. So all these things are really important. But once you are doing it consistently, then over the time you will realize that your hesitation will go away. and then you will become more confident about sharing your thoughts, expressing your point of views with people. So just to break the hesitation in the starting, I always suggest people that talk about those things that interest you most, that you love the most. Talk about those things. There is no such problem.
Okay. So, have it have been a problem wherein you run out of ideas?
I definitely do. I won't say that I don't, because any content writer who says that they never run out of ideas, they are lying for sure. Because
Mm-hmm.
all the content writers at some point of time run
Yeah.
out of the ideas, or sometimes it happens that I have an idea in my mind, but just
Okay.
that when I have opened a Word document and now I'm starting to write, I cannot think where to start.
Yeah.
So this is a big problem, that I do not think where to start, what to write first. So there is this huge problem. What do I do then? I do not overstress first of all. I
Mm.
feel that it's completely okay. All the content writers face this problem. Then what I do the next, I really feel that okay, I need to calm down my mind now. I need to make my mind calm. I should be happy inside. So I love watching Mahendra Singh Dhoni's videos because I'm an ardent follower of him. I
Mm.
just jump to YouTube, watch out a couple of videos, or maybe take a shower, because I am someone who can generate hell amount of ideas during shower, and
Okay.
secondly while driving also. So I either take a shower or I just listen to music because I love listening to music. So I do all those things that make me happy inside. And
Okay.
once I'm happy inside, once I'm relaxed, once I'm calm, then whenever I'm coming back and again starting to write, either an idea will come to my mind, or if I do not have a starting point, I will get that starting point. So the whole idea is, don't overstress. Even the best in the class writers who have spent 10, 15, 20 years into writing industry also run out of ideas sometimes. So you really don't have to overstress, and you really have to calm down your mind. You have to de-stress yourself. Once you do that, you will see that okay, ideas are coming to your mind. You're also getting the points from where you have to start, and your content is flowing automatically. De-stressing is really important over here.
It was like, if I see your content, I get that attachment with you. So, till what extent the
Mhm.
emotion plays an role in all of this?
It's the most important thing in the life. Emotion is actually something that binds
Yeah.
us all together.
Yeah.
So, for example, what binds together a girlfriend and a boyfriend? Emotions.
Yeah.
What binds together a mother and a son? Emotions.
Emotion.
What binds together a husband and a wife? Emotions.
Emotion.
What binds together a student and a teacher?